Welcome, hardcover hooligans, to the Hardcover Hooligans podcast. You are all, of course, the hooligans, and we
are hardcover.
Are the hardcover hooligans? I don't know. Weird intro for hopefully what will be a normal episode.
A weird episode.
We are leaving the Silmarillion behind. We are leaving Tolkien behind, and we are flying with all speed into the 21st century. And where are we flying to, ladies and gentlemen and folks? We are flying into A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Now, Mac, I have an opening question for you.
Yeah.
That might give too much away, but I don't care.
Perfect. What is an opening question if not a big spoiler for what's to come?
So, Mac, this is more of a hypothetical, and then I'm going to ask you a question at the end. I want you to imagine you have a horrible life.
Okay, I'm there.
And a horrible family who all you do is take care of them, and they are ungrateful and they don't care about you ever.
That sounds awful.
And then one day, a magical being shows up and whisks you away and gave you all the food, water, shelter, resources, and free time you ever desired. The only condition is you could never see your horrible family again. Would you do this?
I'm going to go with yes, Danilo. I would do that.
Could we sweeten the pot by right before you leave, your father tells you to not come back?
No,
sure, then I won't. What if the only other option than to do this deal was to die? Would you also still do this, or would you rather die?
If I don't do this, if I choose to not have a great life, I die.
Yeah,
I would have the great life, Danilo.
Okay, of course. And then let's say you have this great life. Would you spend most of it trying to get back to your horrible family?
No, I'm not I'm not stupid or crazy. No.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's basically it. But we'll get into... That's my opening question. So we are talking about A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas.
SJM, baby.
You know what? I didn't look up... I was so involved in my...
2015 is when I think this came out. 2014. 2014 or 2015?
2015.
Nice.
May 5th, 2015. Cinco de Mayo.
2 days before my birthday. I'm 10.
And Cinco de Mayo of 2015, the Court of Thorns and Roses was thrust upon the world. So we're doing something a little bit different in this episode, in that Mac has not read this book, and I have read this book at all. He knows nothing about it. I am going to split this up into two parts. I've read almost exactly 50% of the book, 51% if the Kindle app is to be believed.
I was like, what? How do you know? That makes sense.
And I'm going to try to explain it to Mac. We'll read some stuff. We'll talk about it. I do want to say a little bit of a disclaimer up front. I want to be aware that we are two men talking and discussing something that appeals primarily to women, and that primarily women read and enjoy.
Well, we've got to take women down a couple pegs on the Hardcover Hooligans podcast.
I just wanted to say that there's generally when this sort of rhetoric happens, there's always an undertone of misogyny, of women are like something popular that's bad. You know, it happens with Twilight, it happens with TV shows and everything. I want to acknowledge that's part of this, and I'm going to try to avoid that part of it. And like I said, I'm only halfway done. I have not looked up any reviews or any spoilers or anything.
Yeah,
all that. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I haven't either. I've never even once done that, and I don't even know what reviews were like at the time. Like, not reviews of, like, people, like, what, like, the New York Times. I've never held the book with my hands, so I don't even know if there's, like, blurbs on it or anything, so...
Yeah, I only saw the Wikipedia page for like a second, and it is marketed as young adult, YA, and it won some YA awards at the time. Yes.
It is not. That's an important... I know. I worked at Barnes & Noble, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know about your local bookstore, but at least at Barnes & Noble, it is not shelved in the young adult section. It is shelved either on its own table with the other SJM books, or it's in fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah, which is... We'll get into this later on, hopefully when we're finished. So all the caveats aside, I'm going to sort of not bury the lead here. And not only I don't think this book is for me, I did not like it, and I think it's bad.
Nice. Good. That's the holy trinity.
I know, right? All right. So I think we should dive into this whole thing.
Let's do it.
I'd say I went with an open mind. I tried to be like, you know what? I'm going to try to enjoy this. The first chapter was a little rough, and then very quickly I'm like, oh no.
Rough in what way? Like, is it like a sentence to sentence thing, or just like...
Yes. It's not... It's the main character, and it's all written in first person, a la Hunger Games, a la a lot of...
is Hunger Games written in the first person?
YA. Mm-hmm.
I have read it, listener. I just, I was a child.
Like a lot of YA. So we open on
sorry, Danilo, I have another question. Is it also written in present tense like a lot of YA is, where it's like I say to what's his face?
No, it's it's past tense, first person past tense. My main thing with this is the main character is so all over the place and inconsistent, and there's a lot of like insertion of random details or like calling things not what they are. Like, it's just like, just reading it gave me a headache trying to keep it straight. Or like, I find like if you can't empathize with your main character in any way, because at every turn she's doing nonsensical things, and thinking nonsensical things, it's very difficult to get through a first person book.
How old is the main character?
She is 19.
Okay.
But so often she acts like she's 14.
Do you think she's 19 so that she can have sex with people?
Probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I mean,
or
if it's...
to have there be steamy moments and them not be a big problem, and like especially if it came out as YA.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that it is marketed as YA, because that all I know about this book is that she fucks like a demon or something. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I'm halfway through. But no sex has happened at all. All right, so we open up. Our main character's name is Feyre, and we'll get to how you find out how you pronounce it in the book later.
Oh, good.
She's out hunting in the snow to feed her family because she's like poor or whatever. And she's about to kill a deer when she sees a magical wolf. And she's like, that's a really big for a normal wolf. It has like glowing eyes or whatever. And she's like, it could be a fairy. And there's this whole moral quandary where she's like, okay, if I shoot the deer, the wolf's going to get it. I'm not going to get the deer to feed my family because they will starve and die. I could run, but also then I don't get the deer and it's winter and I need to feed my family. My only option is to kill this wolf and hope to kill it before it kills me, because it's probably a fairy.
But is killing fairies like some sort of you can't do that?
I mean, it's like killing. It's like, you're taking a risk. You either starve to death or you try to kill this thing that hasn't seen you yet. Also, fairy lore, its weakness is ash, like the wood, the type of wood. And she has several ash arrows on her.
Oh,
so she knows. I know, right? And also iron is a weakness of fairies.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. And this is the sentence where it starts to be like, what? In the middle of her looking at this wolf, deciding whether she's going to kill it or not, she talks about how, like, it's sort of like, as we all know, ash is the only weakness for fairies, and that's the only thing that can kill fairies. And then it's followed up by, quote, or so legend and rumor claimed. The only proof we had of the ash's effectiveness was its sheer rarity.
What?
The only proof we had of the ash's effectiveness was its sheer rarity.
So because there's barely any ash trees, then that must mean that fairies don't like them?
Yeah.
Is that the...
Yeah. It's like again, I think this is endemic of like, this is a weird insertion where you're like, you think it works because it's rare? Like there's
right.
Like
that doesn't make any sense.
Gold also, whereas like you could have just said ash is the only thing that kills fairies and have been done with it, and then it's like this random insertion, and you're like, what the hell? She shoots the wolf naturally. I know, and kills it. One sentence. Another one of these weird things. I will read a lot of things and send you things to like give you a flavor.
Oh yeah, please.
Because I'm not really interested in like why it's bad or cringy to like YA stuff. Like I think it's fine. You like what you like, whatever. I don't care. It's like the writing and the description and the flow of things, and that I want to mainly focus on. She shot the wolf with an arrow and then had this thought after it like made a sound or something.
Sure.
Was he in much pain, or was his whimper just his attempt to shove death away? I wasn't sure. I wanted to know.
What is the difference? What is their difference? Like,
why don't you want to know? How would you know?
But like, but what even is that? The whimper is the. It's like, is that like, who's ever been shot and they go no? That's not.
And whoever's doing the shooting is like, I shot him with an arrow. I wonder if he's in a lot of pain or if he's crying because he's trying to not die.
Right. I wonder if
I don't want to know.
It's an animal. It's obviously it's in pain.
Again, and it's around this point where I'm like, oh, it's just chock full of these. Like it's almost like the second you get into the flow, the writer like inserts these random things where you're like, what? What is this? It's like a nothing, it's just like nothing thought that doesn't add to anything.
So you must know it because she wrote it down in her world building notebook.
Feyre returns to her cottage and we're like, okay, so what we know, she's poor, she has to feed her family. She sort of, this is key to remember, she sort of didn't have a choice whether to kill the wolf or not.
True.
Okay. She returns to the cottage. This is when we are also introduced to one of her main character traits, which is she's a painter or likes painting.
Okay.
And
that's
so
cool.
at every juncture, she sees things. What if it was a painting? Oh, the colors. Oh, I would never be able to capture this light. Oh, the blue of the sky. Oh, the orange of the trees. Seemingly feels random. So like, first of all, this is where it's established. She's walking home. She's like, oh, what a great scene to paint. Here's all the colors, blah, blah, blah. That's fine.
Yeah, that's kind of a nice, in a vacuum, that's kind of like a cute little line. But that's, I don't know, that it screams to me that it's like, I don't really know why this character would be explaining what things looked like to herself. But if she was a painter, then it makes sense.
Well, and it also, it's very in the realm of Mistborn, where like Vin can't trust people. It's like every time, like you'll need one of these. We get it. She's a painter. This comes up constantly.
But kids wouldn't get it.
I want you to read this section. So this is after she comes back from the cottage. She has background info. She has a dad.
Yeah.
And she has two older sisters. So she's the youngest sibling. Their fortune, they used to be rich, but when she was young, her dad got into some bad debts. Some debtors came to their house. They beat the dad, and so now he has like a lame knee, so he like can't walk. He can't work, kinda. And the sisters are like the evil stepsisters from Cinderella. She's basically Cinderella. She's doing all the hunting. They sit at home and sort of do nothing and talk about boys in the village, whatever. And she's the one who like brings home the bacon and sells the stuff. And every time she does anything, all her siblings are like, where's the money? And then they treat her like shit. And the dad never says anything or does anything because he's like lost the will to do anything. Like he's like, oh, it's my knee. All he does is sit around and whittle.
What about mom?
Mom is dead.
Did the debtors kill her?
So I don't remember if it's revealed if she's dead, but she died when Feyre was young. And a big deal is that on her deathbed, her mom made Feyre promise that she'll take care of her family.
Oh, so that's why she stays around.
That's ostensibly why she stays around.
We didn't say that in the hypotheticals, though. I still would have
Yeah,
left. I still would have left. I still would have definitely left.
And it's sort of implied that, like, maybe it's, I don't know. It's very clear where it's like she made this promise to her mom when she was young and didn't know what she was getting into, and now she's like, this is the only reason I'm staying.
Oh, sure.
I want to send you a paragraph just because I want you to... It doesn't have any formatting because I couldn't get that to come across. But I just want to give you a sense of, like, the flow.
So that's how it's spelled?
Yeah. It's spelled Feyre. Now that looks a lot like fairy.
It sure does.
But she's a human. I don't know if it's a way to be like, oh, this book is about fairies, so we're gonna name the main character Feyre, even though she's a human and doesn't have anything to do with fairies. Unless that's a reveal later, but I don't know.
Do you want me to read it out loud, Noah?
Yeah, can you read it out loud?
Feyre, Elaine, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Elaine's soft gasp scraped past my ears, and I blinked back the brightness of the fire to find my second eldest sister before me. Though she was bundled in a threadbare blanket, her gold-brown hair, the hair all three of us had, was coiled perfectly about her head. 8 years of poverty hadn't stripped from her the desire to look lovely. Where did you get that? The undercurrent of hunger honed her words into a sharpness that had become too common in recent weeks. No mention of the blood on me. I'd long since given up hope of them actually noticing whether I came back from the woods every evening, at least until they got hungry again. There should be a semicolon there, I'm pretty sure. But then again, my mother hadn't made them swear anything when they stood beside her deathbed. Shouts out to, I've never heard soft gas scraped past my ears. I've never heard something soft could scrape something before. I know that sounds very nitpicky, I guess, but that's like, I mean, this is like the kind of stuff that like a English teacher would, like a creative writing professor would be like, this metaphor doesn't make any sense. Like,
and it gets in the way, it's like, it's well, and then notice how like one sentence is like it's like, oh, an info dump, and then something else happens, and then it just like adds on. Like, I don't know if you had the effect of like, you're like,
yeah, no. This line. The undercurrent of hunger honed her words into a sharpness that had become too common in recent weeks. Period. No mention of the blood on me. Period. What? What is formatted? Is that like a space, like a indent, and then the line, and then it keeps going? Because I
could look, but no, that is all one. That is half of one paragraph. That whole thing that you just read. That is how it's formatted in the book. That is half of one paragraph.
Like I'd long since given up hope of them actually noticing whether I came back from the woods every evening. Period. At least until they got hungry again. Period. That's so frustrating.
So much of it is like she says or thinks one thing, and then the next thing is like a qualification or a reversal of the thing she just said. And
right, then it's like, what the hell are we doing at all?
Yeah. And so many of like the decisions and everything. Anyway, we have to keep moving, otherwise we're going to be here forever.
Let's go sentence by sentence through a court of thorns and roses.
And when I say I think this is bad, it's this stuff that I mean. Where
well,
it's like it's impossible to.
This is poor writing.
Yeah.
Like it's not... there should be a semicolon there, and there's a period. That's just like, or just restructure that sentence. I guess technically it doesn't need a semicolon. They are two independent statements, but it's just like I don't know, it just hits your ear weird.
Like there's no, it just sort of feels like random like typing stream of consciousness in a way
like
that
a poem.
It's like, oh, I bet they'll never notice me when I'm gone unless they get hungry, which they might not, because it's like you're like, what are we? It's weird. Just like, so it feels so unfocused. And then later on, she randomly goes back on like when she first started hunting, and it reads 5 years ago when the money was well and truly gone. So they did have money at some point. She's like, okay, yeah. So they had money for a while. All right. 5 years ago, and then you have that thought, and it's not addressed. It just keeps barreling forward with that sentence. 5 years ago, when the money was well and truly gone, when my father still wouldn't move much about. He hadn't argued when I announced that I was going hunting. He hadn't bothered to attempt to stand from his seat by the fire, hadn't bothered to look up from his wood carving. He just let me walk into those deadly, eerie woods that even the most seasoned hunters were wary of. He became a little more aware now, sometimes offered signs of gratitude, sometimes hobbled all the way into town to sell his carvings, but not much. This is her dad.
So he does sell his carving. He does.
Sometimes.
He makes...
But not much.
No, not much.
Sometimes he makes signs of gratitude, but not much. But he didn't stop her when she tried to go in the woods or argue with her to go to the woods,
like to feed them, to feed them because they need to do that.
So this is all this is to say. It's through the sort of weird stilted writing, her family is entirely reliant on her.
Right.
They are completely unappreciative of her and treat her like shit. And she has a lot of contempt for them and spite for them, but stays because she made this promise to her mom.
She made a death oath. She made a Noldor-esque death promise.
You know, Feyre's promise in A Court of Thorns and Roses was very Noldor-esque.
Just a sentence that's never been said before.
So if you're reading and you see a main character whose name is Feyre, you're like, how do you pronounce this? Is it Fair? Is it Fire? Yeah. Is it Fairy?
Fairy.
One of the sisters says, please, Feyre. She drew out the 2 syllables of my name, Feyre, into the most hideous whine I'd ever endured. And Nesta loudly clicked her tongue before ordering her to shut up. Nesta's the other sister. So her sisters are Elaine and Nesta. The father does not get a name. He's always just father. Yep.
That sucks, man. That fucking sucks.
Yep.
Not that the father doesn't get a name. The fact that her name is Fairy, but it's not. It's Feyre. And
so things are so bad that you might be wondering why. I get she made a promise to her mom, who she ostensibly loved, but we'll get to that.
Oh.
Why is she staying around? Here, I'll read a paragraph. There was nothing. This is about her mother. There was nothing left of her in the cottage beyond the ironwood bed and the vow I'd made. Every time I looked toward a horizon or wondered if I should just walk and never look back, I'd hear that promise I made 11 years ago as she wasted away on her deathbed. Stay together and look after them. I'd agreed, too young to ask why she hadn't begged my elder sisters or my father. Great question, by the way.
Yeah.
But I'd sworn it to her, and then she died, and in our miserable human world, shielded only by the promise made by the High Fae 5 centuries ago, in our world where we'd forgotten the names of our gods, a promise was law, a promise was currency, a promise was your bond.
It is very Noldor-esque.
So she was 8? She was 8?
Yeah.
And it is sort of implied that it is magical, but there's also not it's not explicitly said.
No. I do not surmise from that it's magical. I just surmise that it's sort of like, it's all we have is the bonds we make to each other.
Exactly. Especially, when we're 8,
Right. And I get it. She's probably some prophesized ancient fairy magic queen or whatever, but just tell her.
It also feels like you make this horrible woman who is she has to be independent and a badass, but also she has to be inexplicably chained to these horrible people who treat her horribly.
Right.
So you're like, why wouldn't she just leave? And this is the reason that she made a promise to her mom when she was 8, I guess.
Wait a minute. So what's this promise that the High Fae made 5,000 years ago?
So this is a great segue to talk about the fairies in this world. So there's a small sliver at the bottom of the map where the humans live, and then there's this wall.
I see it on there, the big line.
Not unlike the wall from Game of Thrones,
but reverse,
or Hadrian's Wall, but not high up.
Right.
South down.
South down.
And above it, south down. And above it is where all the fairies live. And this was reached by some treaty after some war 500 years ago between the fairies and the humans. Okay, this is a lot of preamble, and we still haven't the inciting incident hasn't even happened. All right. Feyre has a lover in town named Isaac.
How is it spelled?
Just like Isaac.
Oh, okay.
Like normal.
So with two Y's and a K.
No, just like normal. She goes to town to sell the pelt of this deer. Oh no, not the deer, like the fairy.
Wolf.
I think the wolf. She takes the wolf pelt, and in town there's at the market. There's this cult called Children of the Blessed, and they are like a pro-fairy cult. They're like, we just have to worship them. They're more powerful, whatever. And she gets there and with her sisters, and she's like rolling her eyes. And the quote is, exactly what I needed to have the Children of the Blessed in town on market day, distracting and riling everyone. implying that no one can get any work done when like these 4 people are in town, which seems to be a frequent event because it seems to happen.
And market day, is that for them the day they go to market, or is it just one day that
it's like the cottage has a market? I don't know.
Okay.
Where everyone sells things.
It's like a farmer's market.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's like when you go to the farmer's market and the Jehovah's Witnesses are there. It's right outside the farmer's market with their little setup.
It's not like, oh man, buying jam is going to be such a chore because the Jehovah's Witnesses are here.
I nod at them and I walk by.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, just what I needed. She's like, okay, I'm just going to read this.
Yeah.
She's at the market. It took me 10 minutes to contemplate my 3 options.
Boy.
There were my usual buyers, the weathered cobbler and the sharp-eyed clothier who came to our market from a nearby town. And then the unknown, a mountain of a woman sitting on the lip of our broken square fountain, without any cart or stall, but looking like she was holding court nonetheless. The scars and weapons on her marked her easily enough. A mercenary. I could feel the eyes of the cobbler and clothier on me, sense their feigned disinterest as they took in the satchel I bore. Fine, it would be that sort of day then. I approached the mercenary, whose thick, dark hair was shorn to her chin. Her tan face seemed hewn of granite, and her black eyes narrowed slightly at the sight of me. Such interesting eyes, not just one shade of black, but many, with hints of brown that glimmered amongst the shadows. I pushed against that useless part of my mind, the instincts that had me thinking about color and light and shape, and kept my shoulders back as she assessed me as a potential threat or employer. The weapons on her, gleaming and wicked, were enough to make me swallow, and stop a good 2 feet away.
Okay, so she is like...
So tell me what happened.
She shows up to market. She says, I wonder who I'll sell it to. The people who I sell to every time because they're the people who buy from me and we have an agreement, or the craziest, scariest person I've ever seen. I think I'm going to go to her instead, which is just... I would never do that.
And it's like the writing...
Yeah.
Because what happens, she has to go, but like...
Of course she does.
This is a mercenary... She wants to buy my pelt.
Yeah, why would she want that? And she's holding court? What does that mean? She's telling a story? Or are there people there?
I think she's just sitting there.
She has thick, dark hair shorn to her chin, which in my mind makes it... Shorn to her chin? Like...
It's
just like a sheet of hair right in front of her to her chin.
Or is it like a bob? Like, is it just like as long as her chin?
I don't know what that means.
It was shorn to 3 feet long.
Shorn to her chin, not like chin length, which still seems like a weird way to say. I just don't think I've ever heard that before.
And then another thing, the eyes of the cobbler and clothier on me sensed their feigned disinterest as they took in the satchel I bore.
Right, they're like, I don't care about her, even though they do.
They are faking disinterest, and that leads her... So she knows they're faking disinterest. Right. So she knows they want it, right?
Right. That is, I mean, I'm not fair.
So then she doesn't go to them and goes to the mercenary.
But you'd assume that they do that all the time. Is that they play this like silly game where they're like, "Don't even bother," and then they still sell to each other. But then this time she's like, "No, really, fuck you guys. I'm going to this new person who's not. I would not just walk. If you went to, I've been to a lot of farmers markets in my day. You see the stalls is usually if you had something to pitch to somebody, you'd give it to them, not like a stranger with a rifle, you know? Like, I just would imagine if there's like a person with a... Because I don't know, just because it's like fantasy world, you know, like if you think about medieval, you know, England, I guess, if that's what we're doing, seeing somebody... Fantasy novels have sort of ruined this. Like, seeing somebody with a sword was still like a big deal. You're like, oh shit, because like not everybody had swords, and swords were expensive. So it's like if you walked into your farmer's market and somebody was just holding like a rifle and they have chin length hair, and you just are like, I can't sell to my normal purveyors. I have to sell to the gunman. Like, why? You don't. You really don't have to do that.
Because they faked
and you're like, fuck
disinterest.
You guys.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be so different even if it was just like, oh, they seemed disinterested, so I went. But
yeah,
it's they fake disinterest. Like, either the author doesn't know what feigned means, like fake disinterest. I don't know.
It's
just
weird.
like and then in the middle of this, she looks at the mercenary and be like, her eyes, the color, the paint. But I pushed that part of me away because she paints. Do you get it?
But it's like I've noticed people's like, that's not useless. You just saw how somebody looked. Like, that's nothing. Like, that's not a character trait.
And it's like, we get it.
And that's 1,000% why it's in there, by the way, is so that she can provide detailed descriptions of characters and of scenery. Because, like, I guess Sarah J. Maas thinks you, the reader, would be like, what the hell? I know what everybody looks like? This character's not even a painter. And she's like, wait a minute. I'll make her a painter. No, she doesn't have to be a painter. She can just remark on the stuff she sees.
And it's like in this middle of this thing, it's like, wait, why are you going to the woman with the sword to sell your pelt? Not the normal people? Like, it's this weird. And then you go back to the beginning of the paragraph. It took me 10 minutes to contemplate my 3 options.
Should she give 2 options there too, by the way? Or does she say 2 things?
It's like the clothier, the cobbler, and the mercenary.
Oh, the cloth. I was thinking I combined the C and the C. But yeah, 10 minutes.
10 minutes to then be like, I'm not going to send to my regular people. I'm going to, because they're faking
like 5
disinterest.
years old and my mom told me I could pick out one video game from Blockbuster. And I'm like, I need 10 minutes to come up with this decision. Like, no, that's not, you don't have to do that.
Okay. We need to speed this along.
I'm sorry. I'll stop. Yeah.
No, I know. But like, you don't get a sense of like why this is so headache causing at every paragraph unless like you read some paragraphs,
right,
and be like, wait, what are we doing? What's important? What's the most important thing to focus on? And then you're like, feigned disinterest, 10 minutes to make this decision, but it's all because so she can talk to this.
Well, of course, because she's
mercenary. Because she has to talk to the cool person who knows stuff, and so. The mercenary's like, oh, hey, you killed a fairy. And she suspected it was a fairy. And she's like, oh, no. And she's like, that's bad news. And the mercenary's like, oh, you're lucky it wasn't a Martax. She's like, oh, what?
Capital M.
So it's a Martax.
Capital
M.
Okay.
Lowercase. Which is a different type of fairy, which is also scary. So we learn there's different kinds of fairies. So there's like the high fae, who are like the fairy nobles. And they have all the powers. And then there's like all these different little types of fairies, it's implied. Like a Martax is like a scary bear, half whatever.
Okay. So it's not. So there's high elves and dark elves or whatever. Like
kind of, they're like high elves, and then also like.
But the dark elves can be like animals. Creepy creatures, and like it's not just like elves. Are there like evil fairies too?
Yeah, so they have their whole society, which we're gonna get into. But the best way I can describe it is like it's like Pokemon. Like
nice.
There's a bunch of little small, like sometimes they're like little creatures, like when you think of fairies, but sometimes they're like people and they can talk to you, like Mewtwo.
Right. Or the other one, I don't remember.
Lucario?
Yeah, Lucario. I think he can only talk in the movie though. And Meowth.
Okay. We have arrived. She sells the pelt and goes home. Who cares?
She sells the pelt to the gunman?
To the mercenary, yeah.
Nice.
And she's like, you're tough. You took down this fairy by yourself? Wow, you're so tough and brave.
They have a weakness, apparently. All it takes is you shoot them once with the weakness and they die.
With an ash arrow, yeah, with their kryptonite. So they go home. They're talking to siblings. And then a beast bursts in. It's like a scary beast.
Nice.
I could look up the description, but it doesn't matter. It's like half horse, half whatever. It's a fairy. Accuses them of murder and that someone has to pay according to the treaty. And Farah knew like there was a treaty, but also didn't know. And so here's the treaty. Also, it is inserted in this that fairies couldn't lie. Fairies can't lie. Yep. The quote is, so beast bursts in. You're murderers. Someone murdered my friend. Who was it? Now, what would you do in that situation?
If a beast burst in, if somebody did a BBI, and I
beast burst in,
yeah, and I found myself talking to a half horse, half
murderer. You're with your family. Who did this?
I think I would say you have the wrong house, or it's not me. We didn't do it.
The quote is, fairies couldn't lie, or all mortals knew that, but could they smell the lies on human tongues?
What?
So she decides just to confess. She's like, I did it.
No lie?
No, because she's like, it was better to die
Good for
with
her.
Your chin up than
she's an honest Abe. She's a Mark Twain. She's the Mark Twain of Prythian or whatever.
Yeah, so the beast says, hey, according to this treaty we made several hundred years ago, you killed a fairy, I get to kill a human who killed the fairy. A life for a life.
It's an eye for an eye, but it makes the world go blind and hello.
Except there's also a deal. You could come to the Prythian, the land of fairies, and you can live there forever and never see your family again. The choice is yours.
So why wouldn't she go with? Because it's not even like, this isn't even like, fuck the decision. It's like I mean, fuck the promise you made to your mom. Like, this is different. It's not just like she met some fairy and was like, hey, you can sneak away with me. That's different. Yeah. But it's like, no, this is life or death. Like, what are you talking about? You have to live.
Yeah, and then the father tries like, we have some gold. We can like give you some. And then she's finally like, fine. And apparently the treaty only applies to unprovoked attacks. And remember, she sort of had to kill this fairy, otherwise her family was going to starve, or she thought she did. And also she wasn't certain it was a fairy. She just thought it was a scary wolf.
Oh, she's not sure it's a fairy when she kills it?
Yeah, she's like, it looks sort of magical, but it could also be a big wolf, but also my family's going to starve. So the debt has to be paid by a human life, either killed or to come to Prythian. Then the dad says, hey, go make a name for yourself somewhere else. Don't come back. This is what the dad says to her.
Damn.
I know. The quote, at some point, she finally, at this long scene, says, I had no choice but to go. And then, later, I might find an opportunity to slit the beast's throat.
Jesus Christ.
Or at least disable him long enough to flee. As long as the fairies couldn't find me again, they couldn't hold me to the treaty, even if it made me a cursed oath-breaker. But in going with him, I would be breaking the most important promise I'd ever made.
Oh my
Surely
God.
It trumped an ancient treaty that I hadn't even signed.
I think the opposite is true. It's like an ancient treaty signed by the god. Like, that's like
also, like, this thing's gonna kill you. Like,
right.
You're not like, it's this weird, like, you're like litigating the promise I made to my mom. If I go with him, it's like, but also, like, if you don't go, he's gonna kill you.
Right. It's not
like, this is a dangerous creature. Everyone keeps talking about how dangerous these fairies are and how they can rip you apart with their sharp claws and transform into everything, and they have magic. But at the same time, it's like that she like acts like she has a choice in a lot of things.
Or she could manage to to beat it in a fight, like sneak past it or something. It found you.
Yeah, but she's a cool girl. She's a cool girl with a bow and arrow. She can do anything.
That's true, but she's never seen this thing before, and it just found her and was like, I think you guys did it. Like, how would you ever think you could sneak away from this thing? Like, it's over for you. It's like if Jesus Christ showed up and arrested you. Like, I think it might just be over at that point.
Yeah, I know. Like, at some point you have to accept that you're like, all right.
Yeah.
The plot is happening to you.
Yeah.
Just, you can't
Let
do anything
it wash
about it.
over you.
And the dad says right before she leaves, you were always too good for here, Farah. Too good for us. Too good for everyone. He squeezed my hands. If you ever escape, ever convince them that you've paid the debt, don't return.
Wow.
Yep.
That's some deep stuff.
So, the fairy knocks her out with magic, takes her to the fairyland, and she doesn't regret killing the evil fairy, because all fairies are evil because they kill humans.
Okay.
During the ride, she thinks, I alternated between.
She's on a music.
She wakes up and she's on the back of this horse before she falls back asleep. It's a whole chapter.
Oh, nice.
I alternated between a wretched smugness at the thought of my family starving and thus realizing how important I was. And then I don't remember that's the quote. But
wretched and thus. Oh, I see. But that's just what a clunky. What is going on? Like, do people not? You can just write a book. Anybody can just write a book.
Yeah. Okay. We get to the fairyland. It's a big, beautiful manor house. It's not a wretched little human cottage.
Right.
It's a huge, big manor house, like a big palace. She gets her own room.
Wow.
There's a fairy in charge. His name is Tamlin. He's like that's the creature that brings her. He's like this horrible creature, horse thing. He turns into like a guy, and he has long blonde hair, and he has a mysterious golden mask on, like a masquerade mask.
Okay, like Mr. Incredible.
But it's gold and like studded with emeralds or something. Oh, here's another detail. I don't remember where this was inserted, but at some point she like thinks about her father, and she says, I was too young to remember much before my father's downfall. He'd tolerated me enough to allow me to loiter about in his offices and sometimes even explain various goods and their worth, the details of which I'd long forgotten. So he tolerated her enough.
Right.
And she has this undying dedication to him and their family.
Right. Right, but it's because the mom didn't know. But so they must have had quite the relationship because I don't know anything about her. What a hook. You got to keep reading to find out.
So she's in this fairyland. Tamlin is the main fairy, blonde hair. Lucian is Tamlin's friend.
Whoa.
He has like he's sort of sassy. He's got like a fake like magic eye because like his eye got removed or something.
Okay.
And the wolf that she killed was their friend named Andras. And Feyre gets her own room. She even gets her own fairy servant named Alice, who every morning like draws a bath for her and like does her hair and dresses her and everything.
Whenever I love a fantasy story that's like Andros and Tamlin and Alice and Isaac. It's like, what? Some people just have normal names.
Alice is in her defense spelled Alis.
All right, there you go. I like that. I like that. No, there's no Paul Atreides, Duncan, Idaho. Fuck that. Get out of here.
And they all have these gold masks on.
Weird.
So far unexplained. So she's still worried about her family because she's like, how are they going to survive?
I just wanted to fuck this fairy already.
And Tamlin is like, your family's fine. I've made sure they're taken care of.
So fairies are fucking rad.
And she's like, fairies can't lie, but he could be twisting the truth or something.
That's a lie. Okay, but that's a lie.
And she's like so scared she like rigs a trap in her room, like around the door.
Kevin McAllister style?
To be like, oh, if someone comes in and tries to kill me, I can like give me enough time to escape.
Yeah, because if they wanted to kill you, they'd give you your own room in a beautiful palatial estate.
And then they sneak in the middle of the night and be like, oh, and also they couldn't get past your like dinky little human trap in 2 seconds. And characters say this, but she still keeps setting up this trap. Okay. So to your mind, it sort of seems like, oh, she's here now, right?
Yeah.
Now what? The rest of this fucking half thing is her still trying to like help her family or like get back to them or find some way out of this treaty.
But long distance.
Talking with people, doing things. So, and also Tamlin hasn't really been sexy this whole time. Like,
fuck. But is he a nice guy?
He seems nice. He like can just turn into a monster sometimes.
Can he only turn into that one monster, or can he choose a bevy of creatures?
I think he can like sometimes he like. So this is sort of like a modern retelling of Beauty and the Beast. That is
but
sort
he's
of
still beautiful,
Sarah J. Maas's express thing. Yeah, he's still hot, but he's also like has a dangerous edge to him, And he's in charge of this whole thing. At some point, he's being nice and offers her a tour, but she like says no.
Why?
Because she hates fairies and they're all evil, I guess.
Does she? Is she like a racist, or does everybody, or like fairies are actually evil across the board, or is she?
I think humans think fairies are evil because like they kill people. Because
there was some treaty,
right? But she keeps trying to like she's trying to wiggle out of this treaty somehow so she can go back and save her
she's trying to find like loopholes.
Yeah,
you're not going
to this 100-year-old treaty.
Yeah, they're fairies. Like,
right. It's like you keep saying how dangerous and capable they are, and then you just got to this world where like they have a whole like structured power society, but you're like, I'm gonna find this loophole that lets me go back to my horrible family that told me to leave. That the fairy who can't lie says is fine. Like this is like chapter 7, and already I'm like, why do you keep doing that? Like, it's just so frustrating to read about.
Yeah, you just want them to move on.
Main character who everything and everyone points to be like, you're fine now.
And there's no hint yet of like some sort of like big bad guy or like overarching plot or like anything yet, or are there like little subtle things?
So this comes in about this point. Something's wrong with the magic. There's like a sickness or a blight, and it's been spreading, and it's made like the magic act weird. And apparently, get a load of this, the reason they all have masks on is because 50 years ago, during a masquerade ball, is when the magic went haywire, and now all these masks are glued to their faces forever.
That's like a Discworld, like, part of it.
Until they figure out how to remove them by fixing the magic.
That is very funny. In a better book, that'd be a fan-fucking-tastic detail. I'd be like, that is awesome.
But it's not played funny at all.
It's like dramatic and sad, that they're
dramatic and sort of tragic. Yeah.
That they look like goofballs the whole time?
That they all have masks on. And constantly I'm forgetting they have masks on. Because why would you assume someone has a mask on? And then it's like, oh, and his mask glitter. I'm like, oh, right, they all have fucking masks on. This is so fucking hilarious. I can't keep reading small things, but so one morning she's like getting dressed with Alice or whatever, and she's trying to wiggle her way out of this treaty. And so she's asking, questions that might help her, get to know some stuff. And she says, what sort of fairies should I look out for? All of them, Alice said. My master's protection only goes so far. They'll want to hunt and kill you just for being human, regardless of what you did to Andras. And then Feyre responds after that with a thought, another useless answer.
Because there is no answer.
That was your answer.
Yeah,
it's useless. It's useless in that it didn't answer your question about a treaty that you're wiggling out of, but it told you information.
It did answer your question.
It did answer your question, but there's nothing you can do. And at every turn, she's being told, there's nothing you can do. Fucking chill out, please. And she doesn't believe it.
But there's no, like the reason Beauty and the Beast works is because the Beast is actually scary, and it's like, and also it gives the game away pretty quick of like, no, maybe it's actually not so bad at the castle. But before that, it's like all of the, pots and pans or whatever are also are afraid of the Beast and are like, no, don't go in there. So, but like as soon as she gets there, they're like, everything is all right and none of us can lie and your family is fine and you're going to be totally fine. And it's like, then what is the I don't understand what the tension is.
Yep. Well, here we go. At some point, also, I'm just going to say this. The only way they show emotion is by tightening their fists or much fist tightening. A lot of jaw clenching.
Yeah.
And Feyre is constantly shaking, like from fear. She's constantly trying to repress shaking. She's constantly being great, and then something happens, and she starts shaking.
Right.
She's so scared. It's the only way you can show emotion. So again, you're asking the same question. You're like, what's the problem? I tighten my hand into fists. Classic. The metal of the knife now warm against my skin. She stole a knife from the dinner table. And 2 pages later, Tamlin and Lucien are like, we saw you steal that knife. And she keeps trying to get away with stuff. And it's so at every turn, the fairies know exactly what she's doing and that it's not a threat to them. Anyway.
This is their realm and their house and their world. How you could ever think to sneak anything by them is crazy. Yeah.
I tighten my hands into fists, the metal of the knife now warm against my skin. Docile, unthreatening, tame. I'd made my mother a promise, and I'd keep it. Tamlin's looking after my family wasn't the same as my looking after them. That wild, small dream could still come to pass. My sisters comfortably married off, and a lifetime with my father, with enough food for us both, and enough time to maybe paint a little. This is what she wants.
She wants her sisters to be married off. To landed gentry or something. She
wants to spend so much time with her father,
dad,
who's been horrible, who told her to leave,
and to never ever
when she was young barely tolerated her.
But to be a girl to marry with an arranged marriage to sister and a father who hates you.
But you made her mom a promise. You don't understand. She made her mom a promise.
She's still fulfilling it. She is still fulfilling it. It is the same thing. Yeah. They are taken care of.
And then another random detail. She has some interaction with someone. I tried to keep from grimacing as I turned on my heel and left. I didn't want or need his condolences. Not for my mother. Not when I hadn't missed her in years.
So you don't care?
Right?
So then you don't care? Or what? So then you don't care.
You made a promise to her, but you don't miss her because she's dead? What? What are we doing here?
I have never once stopped missing, dead people that I've met. That is great. You don't, that's such a weird, you don't think about it all the time, but when you do, you're like, oh, I wish they were still around. Obviously. Yeah. What?
And she's always mad at Tamlin for being nice. like, hey, I'm sorry, I could have killed you, I could have brought you here, I chose that so you can keep living. And she's like mad at him all the time. This is what I'm talking about when she like acts like a middle schooler.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
And again, still no sexy things. Like, he has muscles sometimes, I know. So her plan now is she's gonna talk to Lucian to try to get on his good side, so maybe he can convince Tamlin to let her go and find some way out of the treaty.
That's not gonna work.
She's on her way to talk to Lucian. She runs into Tamlin, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing? How are you holding up?"
She's being nice.
Do you want crazy? Hey, do you want a tour? And she's like, "No, thank you." She says, "No, thank you," I interrupted, marveling a bit at my own audacity. But I had to catch Lucian alone, had to feel him out. He might already be gone. Tamlin clenched his hands into fists. So this is the person she's trying to convince to let her go, and he keeps trying to like talk to her and be nice, and she keeps blowing him off to spend time with his friend. Like, this is not like, oh, I need to blow him off to go talk to his friend to get him to convince him to be on my good side, not spending time with a guy who keeps wanting to talk to me.
That's so stupid.
I know.
Why can't she just talk to, like, because that's like way more compelling if like because like there's all then we can have all these tense scenes of like she's forcing herself to hang out with him,
and then she's alone with Lucian now, and she's like doesn't know how to broach it, and he's like, "Oh, so when are you gonna ask me about trying to get on Tamlin's good side to break the treaty?"
Of course.
He's like, "I don't want you here. I would get rid of you the moment I could, but there's no loophole in the treaty." So this is like the 20 millionth person to tell her there's no loophole.
And this person is telling her like, "Oh my god, I'd love for there to be a loophole, but there's not. It's ironclad, and I'm a magic fairy, and you can't leave."
So she keeps hanging out with Tamlin's friend Lucian, every day.
Is Lucian
trying
hot?
to see? I think he's just like a hot guy. He's sort of like a bad boy. He's a little sassy. He's like his right-hand man. He's Tamlin's right-hand man. They're riding together, and a scary fairy appears called the Baga. And it's like, it can't be killed, but later Tamlin can kill it because he's powerful.
Okay. Great.
They're like riding in the woods, and like this darkness passes over them, and they're like, and she's like, "Oh, this is a horrible creature. It can't be killed. But like the moment you acknowledge its existence is when it's real and it will kill you. So you have to like stay looking ahead and
cool.
not look at
like
it." That is cool. And this forays into the only thing I liked about this. I think all the different kinds of fairies are cool because there's a couple more of them, like different sorts of animals, and they all sort of do different things. Later that night, they're at dinner, like Lucian's like, "Oh, we ran into a Baga," and Tamlin's like, "I'm gonna go kill it." And Farah stays up late to wait for Tamlin to get back from killing this thing because she's
nervous.
She's nervous that he might die.
But then if he dies, maybe they can let you go because he doesn't want to let you go, and he's in charge of the house.
She wanted to see if, like, oh, it can't be killed, but he can kill it, of course. In the middle of the night, she sees her father. Her father's out on the lawn, and he's like beckoning to her to come out the window. And here's the narration: My father had come to take me, to save me. Whatever benefits Tamlin had given him upon my departure couldn't be too tempting then. Maybe he had a ship prepared to take us far, far away. Maybe he had somehow sold the cottage and gotten enough money to set us up in a new place, a new continent. My father, my crippled, broken father had come.
Jesus Christ, fucking Jesus.
And it's been like 5 days since she's only been in this. She's only been Catch with the Fairies for 5 days.
She's been on vacation.
And also, it's a trap.
Yeah.
Like, what is
lit
more
lawn. Hey,
obviously a trap?
Come out here.
No, not even saying anything. Just she, of course, runs out after him. But luckily, Tamlin catches up with her and is like, "No, that's a fairy called a puka that that turns into something you want to like lure you out to kill you.
Pretty
and that's
cool.
Like a cool thing, but dumb as shit for her to think. And like,
that's
you're
real.
Like, come on, there's no way that's real. Hey, maybe you get one moment of her being irrational because of, she misses her family that she also hates, that she also loves, that she also doesn't want to go back to, but also told her not to come back.
My crippled, broken father.
Yeah. Finally. Right? It's like, who talks about the father they love like that? I want to spend the rest of my life with my crippled, broken father. That is my only dream.
I I want to paint next to my gross old pig fucker disgusting. What a weird.
And then after this, Tamlin's like, why do you keep wanting to leave? And she's like,
fair.
Because of my mom. The vow to my mom, still, apparently.
Who I don't miss.
And he says, who I don't miss. Who I only knew when I was 8. And then Tamlin says this: "You are not breaking your vow. You are fulfilling it and then some by staying here. Your family is better cared for now than they were when you were there." And then it transitions to her internal monologue. "Those chipped, miscolored paintings inside the cottage flashed in my vision. Perhaps they would forget who had even painted them in the first place. Insignificant. That's what all those years I'd given them would be. As insignificant as I was to these high fae." So he's telling them, like, you're fine. And she's like, but I'm going to be forgotten.
You hate these people. Like, what does it mean that you're forgotten?
Right? And later on that page, to her credit, she says, "Then my vow to my mother was fulfilled. It stunned me enough that I didn't say anything for a moment as we walked. My life was now owned by the treaty, but perhaps I'd been freed in another sort of way." This is 25% of this book. This is 100 pages after she's like, okay, I've finally been freed. Oh, all right, what's next? So they talk about the blight. There's this blight coming. He shows her more of this castle. There's like a bit. She shows her like the study where there's all these books and everything. My palms began sweating as I took in the enormous, opulent study. Tomes lined each wall like soldiers of a silent army, and couches, desks, and rich rugs were scattered throughout the room. But it had been over a week since I left my family. Though my father had said never to return, though my vow to my mother was fulfilled, I could at least let them know I was safe, relatively safe, and warn them about the sickness sweeping across Prithian that might someday soon cross the wall. So now her thing is...
Right, she still needs to get back fine. For a different reason.
I need to tell them I'm okay, and that there's some random magical sickness that may reach them that she knows nothing about.
Yeah, that you don't understand. You just heard people talk about a blight or whatever.
Yeah, and so her plan is to be in the study and write a letter, but she doesn't know how to read super well. And this is where we get the detail. My mother had sorely neglected our education, not bothering to hire a governess. Which explains why she can't read, but also, like, this is the mom you made a promise to, who you're like, yeah, my mom neglected us.
But also, weren't they loaded when they were kids? Like, why would she not hire a person to teach you?
Because there's no plot, and so you need some way for her to, like, be, I can't read. Like, why was she was rich when she was 8. I guess they lost their fortune when she was, like, 11.
But I knew how to read before I was 11.
That well, right?
But, like, I knew how to read way before I was 11.
You could write a letter to your family. I'm fine, magic sickness, run away. Like, you could probably do that, right?
Couldn't you just dictate it to a fairy? Because they probably know how to write. You could tell Tamlin. He probably goes back and forth.
But she can't because for some reason she can't talk to him about this because she's just trying to get out of the treaty. In this library, okay. So earlier, at some point,
I feel like my brain is leaking out of my ears.
You know, fantasy swears.
Oh yeah.
At some point, Lucian says, "Buy the cauldron." Capital C cauldron.
Because they're like fairies and witches and like cauldron.
The cauldron is like their god, their big swear. Their big swear is a cauldron. Like, damn the cauldron. And first of all, it comes up out of nowhere. And so it's hilarious to someone say, buy the cauldron.
I'm going to start saying, stub my toe, or like they give me the wrong kind of beer at the bar. Oh, buy the cauldron. Is that expounded upon? Is it like that is their god?
That happens a lot earlier, and now in this study she sees like murals of fairies and is able to extrapolate, and it shows like the creation of fairies, and there's like a big cauldron, so it's like I think the center of how they were created or something. Oh, I don't want to keep nitpicking, but then there's a sentence where she's like trying to sneak out. Oh my god! All right, she learns that there's this fairy called a Suriel, which if you catch it tells you anything you want to know. And so her plan is to catch it and ask if there's any way out of the treaty.
Oh my god. The answer is no.
So she has to do this whole thing, which is like, but I don't know how to do that. So she tricks Lucian into telling her how to catch a Suriel, and then she goes to bait it and catch it.
Right.
And as she's leaving, she thinks the line, "No one had stopped me. No one had even been around to see me leave."
Because they know it's spooky. Because it's not gonna work.
No, but also just on a sentence level, no one can stop you if no one sees you. Oh. So why do you have to say that no one stopped me? Because no one saw me.
No shit.
Yeah, okay. No, yeah. Great. Awesome.
Oh my god. It's so good. Tamlin, why? Just tell her.
They have a big quote unquote fight. Where basically Tamlin says hey, I can help Tamlin and Feyre.
Oh, like
because she's writing and she hides whatever she's doing. He's like, hey, what are you working on? And
what are you working on?
He immediately knows she's trying to write a letter to the family.
Not stupid.
And she's like, hey, I could help you write to them if that's why you're here.
He says that?
And she yes. So this is the fight. This is kind of long, but maybe I'll cut it, but I'll read it in its entirety. I could help you write to them if that's why you're here. I jerked back in my seat, almost knocking over the chair, and whirled to find Tamlin behind me, a stack of books in his arms. I pushed back against the heat rising in my cheeks and ears, the panic at the information he might be guessing I'd been trying to send. Help? You mean a fairy is passing up the opportunity to mock an ignorant mortal? He set the books down on the table, his jaw tight. I couldn't read the titles glinting in the leather spines. Why should I? Of course you can't read them. You're fair. This
they're in a different
why
language.
Why you look at the titles? And he says, why should I mock you for a shortcoming that isn't your fault? Let me help you. I owe you for the hand. Oh, this happened. So earlier, he gets wounded from fighting the Baga, and in the middle of the night, she gives him first aid.
Okay.
Why? Even though he can magically heal himself.
Because it's hot and romantic, Danilo.
He's like, hey, why should I be blamed for a shortcoming that isn't your fault? He's like, and she's like, you're just making fun of me. And he's like, no, I'm not. I kind of want to help you. And then she's like, hey, at least Lucian doesn't pretend to be something he's not. And Tamlin's like,
they literally can't lie. They can't pretend to be something they're not.
And then he's like, what? And Farrah's like, it's like, I don't know you. I don't know who you are or what you want. And he's like, so you don't trust me? And she's like, how can I trust a fairy? Don't you delight in killing and tricking us? And then he says, he starts getting angrier for some reason. And he's like, you aren't what I had in mind for a human, believe me. And then he leaves. The exchange I just read out and summarized is described as a fight. So later on, she's like, my fight with Tamlin. Right. Oh, what a mistake, my fight. And then later when she talks to Lucian, he's like, oh, I heard about your spat with Tamlin.
Like they had barely... What? What is going on?
Feyre leaves. She traps this Suriel. And she's like, hey, I'll ask you if there's any way out of the treaty. Guess what the Suriel says?
It says no.
Yeah, it says no. Then she's like, fine. But what can be done about this blight? This magical blight?
There you go.
As if she's the first... Although, as if she's the first person to think of... think of asking the magic fairies that answer anything to ask them this question that the fairies have been talking about for a long time. But she learns that Tamlin is the High Lord of the Spring Court. So he's president of this region, which you sort of suspect. But so he's more in charge. He's not just in charge of this castle. He's the governor of the state. The Suriel's captured. There's a bunch of these evil other fairy called Naga show up.
Oh, that's a real thing. That's from I wonder if all the other ones are real too.
They might be.
Not, I meant real in a... I don't know what...
they're not Sarah J. Maas didn't make them up.
No, she did not.
That's very possible.
It's a deity in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism? I don't know how to pronounce that, but they're snake gods.
Yeah, and they look sort of snake wolves, sort of. Like velociraptors almost.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Snake wolves is the coolest way to describe velociraptors I've ever heard in my whole life.
So she shoots one of them. First of all, she says, go to hell.
So hell is real. Or
hell is real, I guess.
They believe in hell.
I guess. I don't know. It hasn't been revealed so far, but it's very go to hell. Go to hell with your glass of champagne? What? Huh? But Tamlin shows up and kills them all. But she's like, oh, you did shoot one of them. That's pretty good. So Feyre's plan, warn her family about this blight. At some point...
But she's still not 100% sure what that is or means or what's going to happen.
Yeah, because it might go into the human realm and it might be sort of dangerous, whatever. At some point, she comes down for breakfast. Every morning, they have breakfast. It's like her, Tamlin, and Lucien. And they all get to, like, talk and be witty. And they also have dinner all the time.
See, that... If it was, like, Pride and Prejudice, but it's fairies, I might be into that. But, like...
Yeah, but it's her trying to find...
Yeah, if she just enjoyed her time here, it might be a lot better.
We get the reveal. Turns out fairies can lie.
No.
And that was just a lie made up by fairies. Turns out also iron doesn't do anything against them. But ash still does.
And that's because ash is
their
rare.
Weakness.
That's because ash is rare.
Right, of course, naturally. And Tamlin has the big reveal. Her family is definitely fine. He has altered their memories to make it seem like, oh, she went to live with a rich aunt. Oh. So they know she's fine. They also have information. He put information in their heads to be like, hey, if weird stuff starts happening, to flee to the south. So now they've effectively also been warned about the blight.
Great. Wait, what was the lie that she figured out that they can lie?
She's like, I think she had mentioned like, oh, hey, fairies can't lie. And then Tamlin and Lucien like laughed. She's like, of course you think that.
I see.
But he altered her. Tamlin altered her family's memories, so now they're definitely fine. They've been warned about the blight. They think she's fine. Now what?
Sounds like the story's over.
Now what? Feyre gets to paint.
Oh, good. She gets her free time.
Yeah. So now she gets her free time. And of course, there's a whole wing of the manor that hasn't been revealed to her that's filled with beautiful paintings.
Because she never went on that tour. She would have known.
Yeah.
But she never went on the tour.
Tamlin gets her painting supplies. And now there's some scary woman who's like in charge. Lucy and Tamlin talk about her as like she.
Yeah.
She. So it's someone who's in charge and is scary.
In charge of all fairies?
I guess. We don't know. We don't know.
Oh, I see.
And she might be connected to the blight. Who knows?
Oh, the big bad guy. It's her mom.
Yep. In the middle of the night, there's like screaming and yelling. Oh, this whole other thing that's going on is that Tamlin is constantly dealing with like creatures coming onto his land. Like all those monsters we talked about.
He's a libertarian
and he has to, like, kill them.
Castle Doctrine homeowner.
But apparently that's not normal. It's like the blight is making them act in a certain way. Like all the dangerous ones are coming this way, or like all the other courts are like sending bad stuff his way. So there's all this like fairy politics going on.
The other countries, they're not sending their best to the to the Supreme Court.
And so she wakes up to some screaming in the middle of the night. Someone's screaming, "She took my wings! She took my wings!" And there's this blue fairy whose wings have been like wings? Horribly. I guess this fairy does.
Are they like? Are some of them like small, like Tinkerbell fairies?
I think so. I think this is
That's
like a
fun.
smaller, like a toddler-sized fairy. I don't know. And I think it was someone ripped off this fairy's wings,
toddler-sized
and
fairy,
dumped him on on Tamlin's land, and Tamlin like brings him back to try to like heal him. And of course, Farrah has to like insert herself into this.
Yeah, because she's the character
and help. Yeah. So she's like holding this fairy down as like they're trying to figure this out, and she thinks about the fairy's blue skin. Now she could never recreate the texture of it in paint.
Okay. Sure. Yes.
In the middle of the screaming and dying creature. And she's like basically tells it like, oh, you'll be okay, you'll get your wings back. And then the fairy dies. And Feyre's like, that was the first false vow I'd ever sworn.
Oh my God. And also, no, it's not. That can't be.
The whole point of this scene is she's like, I finally feel regret for killing your friend Andres at the beginning of the story. She didn't
feel regret before? It like ruined her life according to her.
Well, but also she like had to do it, right? Or if her family was going to starve. So it's like, I don't know. You didn't do it on purpose, right?
Right.
You also weren't sure it was a fairy. You also didn't know fairies were like people, but with magic powers.
Right. You thought they were like scary creature beasts.
Yeah. All right. Now as it sort of gets sexy a little bit, they ride to this glen. Finally, Feyre's like, all right, Tamlin, I'll spend time with you. You bought me painting supplies. They go to this glen, and they go to this pool. It looks like it's made of starlight. and they like take off their clothes, but they don't take off all their clothes. She only strips down to her underwear. But she like sees him and talks about.
Do we see his penis?
No, I think he only is like also in his underwear, which is lame. She only goes to her underwear because she's like, I wouldn't let him have the satisfaction of embarrassing me. She's constantly like thinking these people are out to like shame her or embarrass her or like
even
make
though
fun
they
of
show
her.
Nothing but respect and admiration.
Yep. So she stands in her underwear and he like heavily checks her out. She's like, nice. His eyes went from top to bottom. Yep. And then he takes off his clothes and she says, Tamlin's glorious body.
Nice. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah.
And so they swim together and talk about their lives and how they actually aren't so different. Because they both had responsibility thrust upon them when they didn't want it. Because you see, Tamlin didn't want to be High Lord of the Spring Court. Oh. This was thrust upon him when his dad died or something. Ugh. All right. We're almost there. Later on, I mean, now she's just like painting. And then she randomly gets upset. Now she's mad her family didn't try to find her. She's like, I've been distracted by this painting.
You've just been enjoying it.
Literally
yourself.
In the middle of the page, she's like, the rage started to grow in me.
Wait a minute,
I'm like,
why would they try to find her? He like mind tricked them into thinking she's fine. Like, why would
she's
they
mad?
try to...
She's like gonna be forgotten, or like that. It doesn't make any fucking sense. There's just some way to have to insert conflict. Tamlin reveals he's written some poems for Feyre.
Oh boy, and do we get to read them?
We get to read one. They are limericks.
Oh my god.
And they apparently get increasingly dirty, but we only read the first one. And it's sort of cute because she, like, when she was learning to write, she, like, made a list of words that she didn't know that she was going to look up later. And she, like, crumples it up, and Tamlin finds the list. And he keeps it. And, like, each limerick has the words from that list, which is pretty cute.
Not bad, Sarah.
And then she notices that the fairies are setting up for some sort of festival called Kalanmai, or Fire Night. And Tamlin's like,
Firefest?
Hey.
No.
Yeah, she gets a little sandwich and a weird little hut. Feyre is not invited. It's just for fairies.
Damn it.
Naturally. And he's like, hey, it's scary. There's going to be fairies from all around. You can't come. Like, also, I have to tell you, you're imagining all this. He has a mask on.
I keep forgetting that they all have masks on.
He has a mask on.
So he's stripped down to his skivvies, but he still has a mask on.
He still has a mask on. So there's this thing called Fire Night, and she locks herself in a room, and then it starts going. And of course, she can't help herself. These fairies are so... This will go fine, right? She leaves and goes to this festival, and there's like a shit ton of fairies there. And 3 fairies like surround her, and are like, you're coming with us. And she's like, oh shit. And she gets saved by a tall, handsome fairy who isn't wearing a mask. And he's like, hey, be gone, fairies. Oh, you're a human. Isn't that interesting? So he's sort of seductive, but also scary. And he leaves her. He's like, oh, I saved you from 3 fairies. And then Lucian sees her and is like, what the fuck are you doing here? All these people are going to try to kill you in 2 seconds. And so he like picks her up and like carries her back. And she like feels bad that she's being treated like a child or like a toddler, but she's fucking acting like a toddler.
And it's not as if it's like your parents didn't let you, it's not as if your friends didn't invite you to a party. That's not what's happening. It's like a bunch of demon creatures are going to do demon stuff.
Talking about could kill you in 2 seconds and there's nothing you can do about it.
Like who you hate and despise and you want to hang out with them now.
And it's like, oh, I feel left out with the party.
Like,
but
why?
It's because all the time author needs her to go to this thing
to meet this guy
that it wouldn't make any sense for her to be at.
Right.
So much of this is like bad shit. The main, I'm not even blaming the main character for this. It's like the author has to have certain stuff happen, which means that the main character has to do irrational and dumb shit and rationalize it in a dumb, stupid way. In this section, quote, I hated feeling like a disobedient child.
That's not... oh my god, that's so frustrating.
All right, okay, second sexy moment. Are you ready?
Yes.
Middle of the night, Tamlin comes back to the manor after the fire night. Wait, no, before this, when Lucian drops her off, he explains, like, hey, this is dangerous. This is like a ceremony for the fairies where one fairy gets picked and they go to like a magical rage, and that fairy has to pick one of the fairy women, and they have like sex, and from that magic that like restores the magic for the rest of the year or something like that.
That's awesome. We could have these parties in our world.
And it was Tamlin's turn to become like the magic mindless creature.
He comes back all liquored up.
So he comes back and he is like, hey, he's like still like on edge, and he's like, hey, I smelled you, but I couldn't find you, so I had to like pick another one. And that made me mad. And then she like is like kind of jealous, but she's also like mad at him, and he like pins her up against a wall and like bites her neck and like leaves a huge bruise.
Whoa.
And says, don't disobey me again. And she was like, oh, I think it's sort of hot that like this animalistic part of him wanted me.
Okay.
But she's also jealous of like, oh, some other woman got to be with him tonight.
But, okay.
And then Feyre slaps him after he does that.
And does it snap? Does he snap out of it?
No, and then he goes to bed and she goes to bed.
She's only ever been terrified of this guy. And like, he just proved that like at any moment he can just like rip you in half. Like,
but they swam together and he wrote poems for her.
Oh, so now it's fine.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you that I really thought they were like more. It was more of a. That's not graphic at all. I thought they were banging and banging each other.
The next morning, she's like, "I'm not gonna hide my bruise. I'm not ashamed of this because he did it."
That's me when I'm 15 years old at high school.
And she gets up she gets to breakfast, I guess, that morning, and she's sort of like, "See, I'm not hiding it." And Tamlin's like, "I told you to stay in your room. I'm not responsible for what happens to you after that. I told you that was going to be dangerous."
He was on magic fairy drugs.
They laugh at her, and she gets all pissed and goes back to her room like a fucking middle schooler. And now romantic stuff starts happening. Feyre like wears a dress, and this is classic like Vin from Mistborn. She's like, "I'm wearing a dress and I feel like I can look pretty in a dress.
Yeah.
I can be feminine too, but also a badass, but also, you know."
Right, even though I'm not, I'm a loser.
And she shows Tamlin her paintings, and Feyre's like, "I want to help you in your battle against the Blight," which is like, what could she do? Tamlin just wants her to be nearby because I guess they're falling in love. Okay, and then this last chapter before we're done, this is almost exactly halfway through the book. They're just sitting around. He's like, "I can enhance your senses." And he like kisses her eyelids, and she can feel full of the fairy world. And his thing is like, "Oh, hey, I can help you see the fairy world more clearly for something in exchange. Maybe a kiss?"
Ooh, wink, wink.
And so she does it, and she's like, "Wow, the world, it finally feels like it's color, and it's beautiful, and I'd never seen the world before." And then it fades. And he's like, "Where's my kiss?
Where's my hug? Where's my hug at?"
And she's like, "Come in," and he like leans in, and she like kisses the back of his hand really quick, and then runs away. He has a mask on. Remember, he has a mask on. And this comes up. This comes earlier in this exchange where she's like, "I just want to know what you look like. I wondered when I'd grown so shallow." She's like worried she's shallow because she wants to see this guy without his mask on.
But with a masquerade mask, can't you still see most of their face, or are these like full face masks?
I think they're like masquerade masks,
but they'd have to be like a complicated one where you can just see the mouth, so she doesn't know it. So it looks even sillier than I thought it's looked. A half-naked man crazed with sex. He's on like Viagra. Comes to your apartment and he's wearing a mask and no pants, and he's pinned you up against the wall and he bites you. and 15-year-old girls across the nation go wild.
And that is halfway through this book.
Wow, so nothing has happened.
This is 200 pages. So
nothing has happened.
Two people have fought, a fairy and a middle school girl, for all intents and purposes, have fallen in love in a totally unrealistic way that like I'm not like rooting for them. I like don't care. It seems so forced. The main character is unlikable, and like we've read, it's like she's going back and forth between all these different things. Oh my god.
What a book.
Yep.
What a beautiful book.
And they all have masks on at some point.
And they all have awesome masks on.
His face was unreadable. And I'm like, of course, because he has a fucking mask on. Oh my god. So mostly bad and horrible and frustrating to read. Stuff I did like so far. Different kinds of fairies. That's kind of cool. That. Most of the romance stuff is really failing because like it's... I was thinking about this as Beauty and the Beast, you know?
Yeah.
There are other people around. Like, I think part of what makes Beauty and the Beast work is like he's the only guy around and they're sort of stuck together.
Yeah.
This is not the case at all. Like, they have a whole society. I don't know. It's so much. It's like, where are we going? What are we doing here?
He's got a hot
There's this
friend.
whole thing with the blight. It took 200 pages, half the book, for her to be like, okay, I can leave the rest of my life behind me. When that was obvious from like page 20. We harped a lot on the writing stuff because I think that's where it like really fails.
Well, it is a book, so that's fair.
Yeah.
Fair to do.
There's the whole other level of like, which is, you know, fine, not the most original thing in the world. It's like fantasy wish fulfillment. Which
could be good.
I'm not treated right in my life. People take me for granted. I get whisked away. All my problems are solved. My life is great now. You know, there's also the whole like, you know, it's a standard genre of like woman falls in love with monster. The man has a dangerous edge to it, and that's part of like the sexiness, which like is fine. You know, I think people talk about like criticize that, but like I don't know, that's pretty standard. That's not like bad. It's just like a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I for one can't wait to hear how all my favorite characters like Feyre and Tamlin.
Tamlin's the main Lucien love interest. Lucien.
End up. And there's like 4 more of these, so that's good.
Good for someone.
You know it's good for you because we're going to cover them all here on the Hardcover Hooligans podcast.
Oh my god. So, I hope you all enjoyed that.
Yeah, let us know. Leave a review. Leave a 5-star review if you hated the new way we're trying to do the show, or a 5-star review if you loved it.
Don't read this book unless all this stuff sounds appealing to you.
Or you're like 13?
16?
Yeah.
16?
Yeah. And are like, ooh, I wonder, like, this seems like an adult, more adult fantasy novel. Like, this might not be the worst jump from, like, Harry Potter or something to, like, the wider world of fantasy fiction. Mm-hmm. It is so clearly not for us.
Yeah.
But also, it is objectively poorly written. So that is, like, and I know some people can, like, that you can just sort of, like, turn off that part of your brain. I have never been able to be one of those people when it comes to books because that's
Me neither.
It's like the movie had poor filmmaking, like the shots all looked bad, but I like the story. And it's like, but I'm watching it, right? Like, I'm reading it, so I would hope that it's technically well done. But
yeah, so far for me, even just like as a romance, like there are not 2 people who I care less about being together. It's not like, all that Feyre needs is like to find love and happiness, because she can't even do that for herself. You know, I just don't, you know, they have no chemistry. They don't have all their little interactions make 0 sense. They don't seem like they like each other. It seems like the plot is making them like each other. And then, like, as a fantasy book, I give it 2.5 stars so far. Like, different kinds of fairies are cool. Fairy society. I mean, like, points for sort of originality. You know, most fairies have, because they're powerful, have taken over most of the world. Humans are relegated to like a small enclave.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
Sure.
Well,
it's too bad it has to be a romance. Like, I'm sure most of the rest of them are about like all the fairy politics and everything. But
yeah, but that might be interesting.
We'll see where it ends up.
I think that's going to do it for the first episode of Akotar.
Sorry it was so long and I talked so much.
No.
I felt like a bully being like picking apart this person's writing.
That's the book. But I don't care. She wrote a book and I don't like it. You didn't beat her up.
And that's like no harm to like people who do like it, because like I can see how you like it, but also you can like what you like, but also I can tell you when it's objectively poorly written.
You can like what you like, and it's also okay for you to admit that what you like is bad, because I gotta tell you, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a big thing I'm reading in my life that I think I might actually like, but is very bad. Is very bad, and I'm okay to admit that. It's sort of like if you like Like, oh god, what's
like reality TV or something?
Yeah,
like, I love Shark Tank. Like I know that is capitalist American propaganda that is almost unconscionable, but I love watching it.
I love Mr. Wonderful in concept.
I unironically, Mr. Wonderful is my favorite judge.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I like that he gets right to the issues.
Yeah, frankly, yes.
I do, yeah. Well, if you like Mr. Wonderful, be sure to leave us a five star review on your podcast platform of choice. It's the audience.
Tamlin mask.
And they're all wearing masks. I feel like my wife has read this book. She hates it also, and I wonder. I'm gonna ask her about if she noticed they're wearing masks, because every time I asked her if she was enjoying it, she'd be like she just couldn't like talk about it. But she read the whole thing, which I was like, you don't have to do this, but she bought it. She was like, I know, I bought it. I'm gonna get my goddamn 400 pages.
I do not like it, and I think it's bad. But also, there's always some part of me that can't stop thinking about it.
So maybe that's
it's
good.
It's like bad in a way that's addicting because it's infuriating. You know, it's like rage. Like it's like rage bait almost.
It is rage
for
bait.
Writing.
You're on Reddit. You're on like political subreddits or 4chan or something. Pretty cool.
I'm getting black pilled by Sarah J. Maas.
That's a good tweet. That is a banger tweet. Or sorry, banger X or whatever. Sorry.
All right,
yeah,
we gotta be done.
The show, leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. You can send us an email. If you want, if you have email, what the hell am I talking about? It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
It's been a long episode.
If you've ever heard of email, we have one. hardcoverhooligans@gmail.com. And ACOTAR sounds like quite the ride, but I couldn't lie. I'm happy I didn't buy a ticket. So,
yep. All right. Next time, I'll be finishing ACOTAR.
And we'll be done. We'll never have to talk about it ever again.
Yep. And have reviews and criticism ready, because I need something to make sense of this in my
Yes, I will also
brain.
Be reading after I know. I'm curious what reviewers at the time will say about it. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
All right. Stay hard, everyone.
Stay hard and stay magical, everybody.